Hi everyone, this is Ina, and this is video number 3 of the new chapter in my life. So welcome. Let me take these glasses off. I don't know if you guys can see outside my window right here, but it is snowing here in North Carolina. I actually woke up to the most beautiful sight this morning. It has not stopped yet. And I said, you know what? I think that'd be a good backdrop for you guys during this video. So you may see some of the children that live in the complex come play, or people walking their dogs. Don't mind them. They can't hear me. But they probably will be looking because we are on the first floor and they love looking in my window. So that's that. Okay. So I know on the last video I said that I would talk about factoring this week. Well, this week a couple of things came up, so I'm going to take a detour from talking about factoring this week and talk about a couple of other things that came up this week. I actually jotted them down so I wouldn't just be rambling on this video like I do in the other videos, but hopefully you'll find some of the information beneficial to you. Okay. The first thing I wanted to talk about was I had a carrier reach out to me this week. He has a truck, but he does not have his own authority. So currently he's working with a dispatcher who leases the authority to him, and they also dispatch for him. Now, if you don't know what leasing authority is, basically it is someone who has authority. They have an MC number and a DOT number, and they can hire carriers to go ahead and drive for them under their authority number. So pretty much the driver or the carrier doesn't have to have insurance. He doesn't have to have his own authority. He can go ahead and still drive, but he would be using someone else's authority and insurance information. And what would normally happen is that whoever he gets his authority from, they would charge him an additional percentage of his loads in order to use his authority. So hopefully I explained that correctly to you guys, but basically he goes to a dispatcher, or he goes to somebody in a trucking company that has authority. He has a truck. He may not even have a truck. He may go ahead and lease a truck from them too. But he'll drive for them under their authority number. Whatever he makes off the load, he gives them a certain percentage of that load. So he had a dispatcher who he was leasing authority from, but he wasn't moving. So he had a truck and he's just sitting there. Now, mind you, he does not know what her authority number is. She never gave that information to him. She was supposed to be dispatching for him, as well as leasing authority for him. But he said he had been sitting there for a couple of days and he had moved. He had not heard from her. He had left her text messages, voice messages. He'd been calling her. Nothing. So he reached out to me and wanted to know if he could come and I could dispatch for him. Well, at the moment, I didn't know he didn't have authority. So we were talking and I asked him what's going on. And he explained everything to me. And I said, well, let me explain something to you. Not all dispatchers lease authority. Carriers, if you're watching this, not all dispatchers have their own authority. I currently do not have my own authority. I plan on getting my authority, but right now it's not something that I have. Okay, so don't think that all dispatchers have authority and you can just come and drive up under their authority number. That's not the case. Now, some dispatchers do have their own authority and they lease out their authority, where you can drive up under them, and they will also dispatch for you. Generally, that's a higher percentage of your load because they're giving you two services. They're giving you dispatching and they're giving you authority. So you may pay a higher percentage. I've seen some go from 10 to 15%. That's if they're doing the percentage. Some do 20%. Some do a flat rate. It just depends. But if you're looking for someone who has authority, you want to make sure that you ask all the necessary questions regarding their authority. You want to look up their MC number. You want to look up their DOT number. You want to see what their driving, their credit history of the company is like. You want to see if they've had any major complaints filed against them before you just go ahead and sign on to lease their authority. You want to make sure that you have a detailed contract about what they expect from you and how much you'll be paying them and what their services to you will be before you go ahead and sign on to lease anybody's authority. You want to give references. I think that's very important. A lot of people are so new in this business and they don't have any established experience, and people just sign on to them and they find out it's not all what they thought it would be. So I would suggest that before you sign on to use anyone's authority, you go ahead and get references and you do your homework by looking up their MC number and their DOT number. That way you cover yourself and you know that you're working with somebody that's pretty legitimate, and they're not just selling you a good story. Okay? So please be careful when you're signing on to use people's authority. Dispatchers, if you are leasing your authority, that's awesome because that's just another stream of revenue for you. But it also helps you learn a lot more about this business than just from the dispatching side. So kudos to you. I think it's a great idea for dispatchers to do if you can do it. You will find that a lot of carriers don't have their authority because of insurance issues, or they just don't have the money to get their authority. So please, if you're thinking of getting your authority, do your homework, and make sure that you know everything that you need to know in order to obtain your authority before just heading out here and popping down a bunch of money with somebody to get your authority. Because you don't want to get taken and you don't want to waste your time. So just be careful. But I think it's a great idea for dispatchers to get authority. I'm pretty sure it's carriers and trucking companies out here who probably are watching this video and saying, no, it's not. I personally think it's a good idea, but it is not a must. Dispatchers, don't get me wrong. You do not have to have authority to dispatch in this business. Again, you do not have to have your authority to be a dispatcher. Okay? Getting your authority is just offering another service to carriers. It has nothing to do with you being able to dispatch for them. Okay? So, and dispatchers, if you have somebody that you're dispatching for or who's leasing authority from you and they're calling you and texting you, take 2 minutes out of your time to respond back to them. These people are depending on you to make money by booking loads for them so they can be on the road, because when they're out on the road, they're making money and they're able to feed their families. If they don't hear from you and they have a signed contract with you and they're depending on you for you to book loads for them and keep them on the road, the least you can do is communicate back with them. God forbid, if something happens to where your phone goes down, let's say you have a service interruption in the area or you lost the phone or whatever the case may be, make sure you're at least emailing these carriers or something. Get an alternate phone number that they can be reached at. But there should be no reason whatsoever that you cannot respond to your carriers. It's ridiculous to me that somebody would go 2 or 3 days and not contact their carrier. I don't care if you lost the phone. I don't care if the service was out. Like I said, you should have an email address where you can get in touch with them, or you should be able to have or you should have a alternate phone number, or they should have your email address. Somehow, some way, you guys should still be able to communicate with each other. I think it's just ridiculous for a dispatcher not to respond to their carriers. And that's just my opinion. That's just me venting. I would never have a carrier signed up with me and I just ignore them. It just wouldn't. I don't care what it's about. It wouldn't happen. It's unprofessional. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's rude and disrespectful. I know I wouldn't want to text or call somebody and they not answer to my text or call. So why would I do that to somebody else? Especially somebody that I'm supposed to be making money off of as well. I mean, that makes no sense whatsoever. So dispatchers, please communicate with your carriers, respond to them in a timely manner, and make sure that you guys have a great open line of communication with each other. It broke my heart when that carrier called me because he was really desperate. He really wanted to get out on the road. He needed to make some money, and he was just looking for anybody he could just jump and sign on authority with just to get on the road. Luckily, I did reach out to him. He did eventually get in touch with her, and he got on the road. So I'm glad it all worked out. But it just goes to show you that just by not communicating with somebody, they get desperate and they are willing to do anything to get out on the road and make some money. So be careful, because she could have actually lost him as a carrier just because they didn't communicate with each other. So I wouldn't want somebody to leave me because they said they couldn't get in touch with me. And I have seen in some of these chat groups that we have, a lot of carriers talk bad about dispatchers because of that. I have seen too many times carriers saying in comments, we just want a reliable dispatcher who will answer our calls and respond to our emails when we send them. We need somebody that will pick up the phone when we call, who will respond to text messages and our emails. There are too many times that they're getting these dispatchers, and the dispatchers are making them all kind of promises about what they will do, but yet they can never get in touch with the dispatcher. So just, if you're going to say that you're going to be a dispatcher and you're really serious about this, make sure that you are communicating with your carriers and that they're able to get in touch with you when they need to. Because if you want to be honest, it's a whole lot of dispatchers out here now, and they can easily drop you, cancel contract with you, and go find them another dispatcher who will return their calls and text messages. It's too easy. It's too many of us out here, and it's too easy to jump ship. So that just might be something you want to think about when you're becoming a dispatcher. Personally, I'm on call 24/7, which means my carriers can call me anytime, day or night, and I'll answer. And I tell them if it's like late at night or early in the morning, your best bet is to call me because I may be asleep. But I guarantee you, if you call me and I hear that phone, I'm going to pick it up. Regardless of what the situation is, I will pick up the phone. And if there's the issue with the job or you broke down somewhere, call me and we'll get it fixed out. Some dispatchers, they're not on call. They have set hours. So carriers, if you're looking for a dispatcher, make sure you're asking that question to the dispatcher before you just go ahead and sign a contract. If you know you need somebody that's going to be on call to where you can call them any time of day or night, find out if that person is on call. Because I would hate for you to have to call somebody in the middle of the night and they say, oh, well, my hours, are end at 8 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night. So just something you want to think about when you're talking to your a potential dispatcher, and vice versa. Dispatchers is something you definitely want to ask carriers when you're talking to them about them potentially being a client for you. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about, I saw this today. Somebody please explain to me why a dispatcher would charge a carrier to fill out carrier packets. Yes, you heard me right. The dispatcher charges the carrier not only a fee to dispatch for them, but they also charge them fees to fill out carrier packets. Why would you do that? To me, you are trying to gouge the carrier. Your job as a dispatcher is to communicate with these brokers, make sure they have the necessary paperwork to book the loans for these carriers, and to get your carriers out on the road. That includes filling out carrier packets. What would I look like charging a carrier 8 to 10% per load, and then another $25 to $50 to fill out a carrier packet on their behalf? Is that not why they're hiring you? Because they don't have the time to fill out the carrier packets themselves and to book the loads themselves? I was floored. I really thought somebody was joking when they posted that. But there are dispatchers out here charging not only to dispatch, they want 8 to 10% of your load, but then they also want $25 to $50 to fill out some paperwork to get you signed on as a carrier with a broker. I just think that's ridiculous. I think it's lazy. I think it's greedy. Because that should automatically be a part of your job as a dispatcher. I was floored. I really was. I actually saw a young lady in the dispatcher group. She posted on that same comment. She clearly didn't see a problem with it. She was like, everybody has to make money somehow. You were right. Everybody has to make money somehow. But you don't have to gouge them for every little thing that you do for them. I've never seen a dispatcher teach a course where they charge separately for filling out carrier packets. I know mine didn't. Never once did he say charge separately for filling out carrier packets. If you offer other services, yes. But to fill out a carrier packet, that's part of your job as a dispatcher. And I'm all for people making money. I really am. But I do not believe in gouging my carriers. I don't. I just don't understand that. I'm sorry. If you feel differently than me, kudos to you. Everybody has their opinion. But my opinion is, as a dispatcher, you should automatically be filling out carrier packets at no additional charge. It's part of being a dispatcher. I don't understand that. A lot of these carriers, they hire dispatchers because they don't have the time to sit there and fill out carrier packets or go on load boards to book loads or talk to brokers and call brokers about loads that are posted out there. That's why they're hiring you. So why would you charge them an additional fee for something that they're already hiring you to do? I think it's unethical, and I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't suggest as a dispatcher you doing it. It makes you look bad, but then it also gives us as a whole, dispatchers as a whole, a bad impression. I just wouldn't do it. But that's me. So, something you may want to think about. when you're offering dispatcher services, yeah, that just didn't sit well with me. So I just want to bring that up. Think twice about that before you do it. And think how it makes you look as a dispatcher. It makes you look kind of greedy and money hungry, like you really don't care about your carrier at all. That's how I see it. I mean, I care about my carriers. So their health, their safety, and their time is very valuable to me. So I'm not trying to waste it, and I'm not trying to take all their money because they have families. So again, it's just something I wouldn't do. Okay. To my new dispatchers, a lot of you are going on social media and asking how to get started in this business. And there are tons of people out here offering dispatching courses for sale. I'm going to say this. A lot of them are not worth the paper they printed on. A lot of them are ridiculously overpriced. And a lot of these people probably haven't even had a good year's experience dispatching, and they're offering dispatching courses. So I'm going to say this. Starting out as a dispatcher, I wouldn't just get information from YouTube or the Facebook groups. I would try to find a legitimate dispatching course and take it. And when I say legitimate, I mean do your research. Get references on them. Talk to people who've taken the dispatching courses. Find out what's offered in the dispatching courses. Find out how long they are. And of course, how much they cost you. You want to make sure you're going to get valuable information from these people. You preferably want to take a dispatching course from somebody who has some experience. I would say the more experience they have, the better off their course is probably going to be. I would personally take a dispatching course that's not just where they send you files, like you pay a fee and they just send you information and bam, there's your dispatching course. I would personally take one that's provided or held over Zoom, or that's interactive, that somehow you watch them do a presentation, or it's just held, like, say maybe 2 or 3 nights out the week, and it's done over a number of weeks. That's just me. I just feel like they know more about what they're talking about. I feel like they give you more detailed information. They take time to answer your questions, whereas somebody that's just sending you a packet or a slideshow, you can't ask them questions. How you gonna ask them questions? Everybody's gonna have questions, so why not get one with somebody that's interactive, that's taking their time out their day to sit there and teach you something, instead of just putting a packet or a slideshow together that they can just send to you. So I would suggest, if you're thinking of becoming a dispatcher and you're very serious about this, do your homework, find somebody that has experience that's offering a dispatching course at a reasonable amount, and take that course. It's a lot easier than to just get on Facebook or YouTube, watch a clip or a video, or just ask questions, because you just need some kind of structure in order to gain the knowledge it takes to become a dispatcher. So I personally would highly suggest a dispatching course. I know I've seen a lot of people say, oh, you could just go on YouTube and find out what to do, which is true, but it's not presented in a way that's clear or concise, or that you can follow. It's just a lot that can be left open when you're just going on YouTube and Googling videos. So that's just my opinion. If you're wanting to become a dispatcher, I think it's awesome. I also will go ahead and take a legitimate, detailed dispatching course to gain knowledge on what it takes and what you need to know or what you need to do to become a dispatcher. Because, like I said, it's just too much information out here, and some people are forgetting to give you certain information. Some people are not giving you information. Yeah, it's just too much that can just be missed when you don't actually take a dispatching course. So that's just my opinion. You want to become a dispatcher, find you a good, reputable, legitimate dispatching course that doesn't charge you an arm and a leg, and go from there. Let's see what else. I talked about carriers with authority, the carrier package, dispatching courses. I want to also talk about my dispatchers finding brokers or owners of trucking companies who you can partner with to learn more about the business. It's one thing to just be a dispatcher, but to know the ins and outs of this business, you need to know somebody who has been in this business for a while. Network, people. Don't think just because you took a dispatching course and you dispatch for a couple of carriers that you know the business in and out, because I promise you, you do not. I was blessed last week, and I'm telling you, I don't know how these people are finding me or reaching out to me, but I'm telling you, God is blessing me. Hello. He brought someone into my life last week, and yes, we've only known each other barely a week, but this person has not asked one thing of me except to help me learn this business. So, Matt, thank you so much for reaching out to me. Matt has his own trucking company. There's a hair in my face that is driving me crazy. Okay. Matt has his own trucking company, but he is also a broker. He has his broker's license. Matt reached out to me on Facebook. He hit my inbox up, and he just started asking me questions about me, what I wanted to do in this business, if I wanted to learn the brokerage side, and a couple of other things. And so we just had a conversation. First of all, I like how he came at me. He didn't come at me sideways. He came at me very professionally. At first it threw me off a little bit because I was like, why is he asking me all these questions? But I said, okay, I'm gonna roll with it. And then as soon as he starts saying something stupid, I'll just go ahead and block him. But he never got to that point. Thank you, Matt. And he has offered to partner with me, but also teach me the ins and outs about the business. Matt proposed something with me that I was a little skeptical about because, like I told him, there is so much I still need to learn in this business. But he said that's what he was there for. He was willing to teach me. But he had a great business proposal for me where we go ahead and carriers that want to go ahead and sign on to drive for him and use his authority, I would dispatch for them. So I said, okay, let's give it a shot. He has been teaching me some things about brokerage. I don't know, like I told him, I'm not sure yet if brokering is something I want to do, but I definitely would like to learn a lot about it. He's teaching me about being the owner of a trucking company, and he's also a driver himself, so he's on the road. So Matt has a lot of hats. one thing I like about him, he has employees working for him. So Matt isn't just talking, he's doing a walk. This man presented me his MC and DOT information, and trust me, I did go ahead and research him. I wasn't playing. I didn't want nobody wasting my time. So I did my homework. He has offered me, he has to go to Houston this week. So I am looking for a load for him to pick up, to haul to Houston so he can make some money while he's on his way up there. I actually have to make a phone call tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. To a broker about a load. They're lowballing on the amount. So I need to call tomorrow morning and talk them up to a reasonable amount. Tennessee to Houston, Texas for barely 2,000. That's not gonna get it. But anywho, so if you can find or meet, or you have the pleasure of meeting somebody that's in this field who has experience, network with them. You will be amazed. A lot of them are dying to give you information for free. They don't want anything from you. We are partnering. We are actually in the process of drawing up a legitimate legalized contract. So my company, RayLis Logistics, is still independent of his company. But we will be working together. And I'm telling you this because why wouldn't you want to learn more about this business? It can only benefit you, and it can only benefit your carriers. So you're not limited to just dispatching people. There's other avenues in this business besides either being a driver or a dispatcher that you can do within the freight industry. It's not $1 billion business for just those two reasons, people. So make sure you're networking with people who own trucks, who drive trucks, who have a trucking company, who they have a fleet, who have brokerage. They have brokerage ability. There's agents that you can go ahead and meet and network with and learn this business from. So I just highly recommend that you all network with other people in different fields within this business. You can only learn from them. You're not limited, and there's other people in this business besides just dispatchers and drivers. So don't just limit your interaction to dispatchers and drivers. Okay, branch out, meet new people, and learn from them, and you'll be surprised at where you can go in this business. So I will keep you guys posted on how things go with my partnership with Matt, because I'm really excited about that. I told my mentor about him, and he was so, he sounds so happy for me. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what happens with this partnership with Matt. And I think the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is there is the podcast that I had mentioned in earlier videos, and I couldn't remember the name. It is called Truck and Hustle. It is on Facebook. It is a awesome podcast for the trucking industry. I have learned a lot just by watching their podcast. So what I'm going to do is I saw a very interesting video or podcast that they did this week, teaching you how you can make a lot of money in this business without owning a truck. A lot of people think the only way that you can make a lot of money in the trucking industry is by owning a truck, and that is not true. So at the in the description, I will go ahead and include a link to that video. And I would highly recommend that you guys watch it. once you watch it, go ahead, subscribe to their channel, click on the notifications so that when they post new videos, you can get notifications, because I'm telling you, this man provides so much information about the trucking industry that I'm floored. I love it. I have learned so much from his podcast. So again, it's called Truck and Hustle, and you can find them on YouTube, but they also have IG, and I think they have a Twitter page, but I'm not sure. But again, I will include the link in the description. Please check them out. Please subscribe to their channel. I don't get anything for telling you that. They don't even know that I'm mentioning them, but I'm mentioning them because I think they're all phenomenal. I think they give you a lot of great information. I think they want to see everybody succeed and make money in this business. And I think the information that they give is very valuable. So again, I will include the link in the description. Make sure you check them out. Hopefully you'll go ahead and click on the notifications and subscribe to them. And you'll find a lot of information in those podcasts that you can apply to your business. Okay. I am going to go ahead and end this video for today. Thank you again for watching. I am really excited about this new journey in my life. I look forward to sharing with you what happens to me on a weekly basis within this industry as I become a dispatcher. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I would love for you guys to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you click on the notification button so that you can be notified when I post a new video. I'm trying to post a video at least once a week, but as things come up, you never know. I may be posting a video earlier in a week. I may post more than one video a week. So subscribe to the channel, click on the notification buttons. Also, if you have seen my post on Facebook and you would like a copy of the low estimator spreadsheet, please go ahead and send me an email to contact@RayLis Logistics, RayLis Logistics.com. I'll be more than happy to go ahead and share that low estimator spreadsheet with you. It's been a little overwhelming, people requesting it on Facebook. I do send it out free of charge, so there's no charge for it. But I just ask that you be patient, as I have been getting flooded with emails and requests for me to send that to you. So again, send me an email to contact@RayLis Logistics, RayLis, and I'll go ahead and send a copy of that spreadsheet over to you. Again, please subscribe to my channel, click on the notification buttons, and everybody, please be safe in this weather. And until next time, I will talk to you later. Have a blessed day.